In today's video, I'm going to take you through the extremely simple process I use to get a gelatin-rich bone broth. We really enjoy using this bone broth in an assortment of recipes in our home. We use it on a weekly basis. Bone broth is probably one of the first things that I ever made from scratch in my kitchen. I started this as soon as we first got married because it's such an easy process. I started with something as simple as cooking a whole roasted chicken and saving the chicken bones and roasting them to create bone broth. At the time, we got pretty low quality chickens, and while it's a great way to start, I've noticed that the quality of my bone broth is directly related to the quality of the bones I'm using. For this recipe today, I decided to use my best bones from my freezer since I'm making this broth for my sister who is recently postpartum, and I want to make sure it is really jam-packed with as much gelatin as possible. So I am using some long bones that have been cut in half. These contain a lot of marrow, which is also so beneficial for the immune system. And I'm using several soup bones that have a lot of marrow and meat still attached to the bones. To start, I am just placing these bones in a roasting pan and drizzling a little olive oil and sprinkling them with some salt and pepper. Next, I am chopping about a 2-inch piece of ginger in half and placing that in the pan with the bones and dicing up a whole onion. I go ahead and throw that onion into the pan as well. Next, I place the bones in the oven for about 30 minutes. Let them roast until they are crackly and they smell amazing. Next, I'm chopping up a carrot. I don't actually peel this carrot, I just roughly chop it. Now my bones have come out of the oven, and so I'm letting them rest on the stovetop while I fill my pot with some filtered water. I add about 1 to 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar, which is really important to draw the nutrients out of the bones. And I'll go ahead and add my carrots and my bones, and then I'm ready to bring this pot to a boil. I usually let this broth boil for a couple hours until the consistency is where I want it, and just do a little taste to see if it has the right flavor. Next, it's time to go ahead and strain your broth. Do this very carefully because it can splatter. After straining my broth out of the bones, you can still see here that there is so much marrow left inside these bones, and there's still a lot of meat on them as well. I made the decision to make a second batch of broth, and I did this batch in the crock pot overnight. Just cover the bones again and add a little more apple cider vinegar, and I let the crock pot go all night long, so I ended up with another giant batch of bone broth. This batch came out so incredibly thick and rich with gelatin, and I can't wait to share this with my sister on her postpartum journey.